There is no minimum, but your support of $5, $25, or even $100, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose will support the community station that gives back to you through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And just for being a value listener and supporter, I'd like to give to you my complimentary 10-song smooth CD music pack featuring my new hit single, A Natural High. So don't hesitate. Donate now. And hey, it's even tax deductible. And did I mention I'll be giving to you my 10-song smooth CD music pack? You can't beat that hookup. So I'm going to go ahead now and thank you for your donation.
Be sure and include your email address, and we will send you information to receive your 10-song CD pack. Thank you for supporting KUAW Radio.
All right. Good evening. It's 7 o'clock p.m. on a wonderful Tuesday afternoon in Kansas City, Missouri. I am your host, Tyrone Gathers Jr. of the Source of Inkwell, live on KUAW Radio, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's global community radio station. You can check out this broadcast in a number of ways. You can hit us up on KUAW.org, or you can download the TuneIn app on your mobile device and type in KUAW Radio. You can also go to Facebook Live, KUAW/LPFM 98.5, or Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, type in KUAW Radio. Or if you have an Alexa or an Echo, you can say, hey, Alexa, or hey, Google, play KUAW Radio. We'll pop right up. And then, of course, if you want to call in, dial 816-599-6893, or you can go to our webpage, email address, kuaw985@gmail.com. If you look at my right, your left, you will see a fundraiser from starting at August 23rd. If you donate anything to KUAW, $1, $50, $1 million, doesn't matter. One, it will help out KUAW to give more programming like this and others. It'll help this station grow to reach out to the community and other communities outside this area. It will help us put on more programs for youth, for STEM, community relations, and education. And once you donate that money or donate your pledge, you get a link to the Smooth Jazz Pack. As soon as you donate, the link will come right to you. And it's about, 10 tracks of some of the smoothest jazz by the artists. Okay, 3 of them are Christmas jazz tunes, so you're getting ready for Christmas. Yeah, and the artist's name, what's his name again, Mr. Walker? Carl Rowland. So, already people are already raving about it. Hey, I donated to KUAW, and I got this smooth jazz pack. I'm good to go. So, even if you don't want the jazz pack, which I don't know why you wouldn't because it's smooth jazz, donating is good, and it's a blessing to give to other people so they can give to other people. So, on my show, I do want to give a shout out to Brother Chadwick Bozeman. My show is an educational-based show, and I want to thank you, brother, from the bottom of my heart for educating us through your film. That's why I'm wearing my Black Panther t-shirt. He definitely was an educator behind the lens of that camera, and we thank you for that, and, prayers for your family. Last week on my broadcast, I talked about how teachers are superheroes. Now, superheroes are individuals who save the day for others. And if you are looked at as a hero, there are times when you get tired as well. There are also times where you feel like you want to give up. This broadcast is dedicated to those super teachers who may get tired and feel that they want to hang up the cape during this time of virtual teaching due to COVID-19. Now, New research is showing right now that there are so many teachers leaving the classroom. I mean, you're seeing large numbers. Today, I was talking to a real good friend of mine who informed me that teachers are putting in for early retirement, or teachers are just flat out quitting. Every morning I get up and I watch the news, and I saw something that really hit me close to home. A teacher was quitting, and she was talking about her issues, but the one thing that stood out the most was her child told her, "Mom, you're spending more time with other children and not me." She said, "Wow, that messed me up," and I decided I had to go. Now, I have a small child at home, and yeah, it hurts when you don't spend that much time with your child. So I really commend her for that, because first thing someone's going to say, well, oh man, they're weak. They're weak. Now, weakness has nothing to do with it. It's taking care of business. And if you see that your own children at home is being lacked, and I understand what she was coming from, because I was feeling some of the things the sister was saying. So, as I said earlier, there's new research that's showing teachers are leaving the profession based on COVID-19. And these studies could help districts keep teachers. Now, I'm the kind of person, if I throw you out a problem, I throw you out a solution also. We could talk about the problem all day, but it's all about that solution. Now, teacher turnover is highly, let me scroll back. Teacher turnover is a huge problem in the profession, because not only are you losing a teacher and you're losing someone that was educating children, you're also losing someone that had a connection with those children. You're losing someone that can establish an impact with that child or with that family. You're losing someone that was probably a safe haven for that child. You're losing someone that was probably the only reason why that kid was even engaged in school. So this study is data that was looked at from K through 12 teachers, as well as revealing factors that will most likely influence a teacher's decision to leave based on the virtual teaching piece. Now, I don't care what district you're in. I don't care if your district is state of the art or if it's grassroots. This whole virtual thing is a huge change for everyone across the board. Now, and if you want to go back and check out my research, you can log in and Google a man named Brian Swider from the Journal of Vocational Behavior. He looked at about 3,201 teachers, and his study took place down at the University of Florida. All right, now, first things first. Number one factor where I'm seeing teachers like, hey, man, I'm ready to just hang this up, is a lot of teachers are now getting duties other than teaching. One of the strongest and most consistent predictors of teachers leaving the occupation is how many non-core duties they have on top of their core duties. Now, when I say core duties, teachers have to sign a contract. Well, most districts require teachers to sign a contract. And that contract outlines everything that you are required to do based on the agreement with you and the district. So you know what you have to do based on that contract. Now, we have teachers now, that are originally, we are already saddled with serving on committees, because most schools require teachers to serve on committees, or fulfilling administrative duties. Now, there are some schools that allow teachers to step into certain admin roles because, the more eyes, the better. And we all know that those two things takes time and energy away from children. Now, non-core roles will definitely increase during this pandemic. As a matter of fact, they have increased during this pandemic, because now, whether you're in the class, whether you're virtual or not, you got more things going on, because some schools, they said if you're rural, you're more than likely to have all your kids in the classroom. Urban, city setting, virtual. suburban, hybrid. Either way it goes, whether you're hybrid in the school or not, this COVID-19 is making it rough for you. Case in point, if you're in the school building now, you have teachers that are expected to monitor kids' health. Now, I coach football at Raytown Middle School. Shout out to them Blue Jays. Gotta plug them. Well, every time they come in, we check their temperatures. We ask them the questions. You got a sore throat, you got a fever, you've been around someone that was sick, you've been around someone that has COVID. The whole gambit. Now, I know there are teachers that do that too. So can you imagine a teacher doing that for every student coming in their classroom before they come in? Think about a line outside of a classroom door with kids standing 6 feet apart, and you're taking away class time to do this health check. Note, I'm not knocking it. It needs to happen, but class time is being taken away. Now, also, you have teachers being vigilant on cleaning. Now, in KUAW, out of respect, each show host wipes down everything before the next show host. Can you imagine a teacher, during a middle school teacher or a high school teacher, we have between 4 and 5 minutes between each class period. Can you imagine taking that time and rushing to spray down and wipe down every surface the child has touched before the next class comes? Now, me, I like going to the bathroom during my class period. I like going out in the hallway and monitoring the halls. I like checking in on a colleague. But you can't do that now because you have to wipe down and disinfect everything. Desks, chairs, doorknobs. Now me, I sometimes disinfect where I walk because, they say you can have COVID on the bottom of your feet and don't even know it. And also, you have teachers that have to adhere to safety guidelines. So now you have teachers monitoring the safety guidelines. So you got to make sure each student in your classroom is monitoring the guidelines safely. Each athlete on the field is monitoring everything safely. So making sure, for example, hey, wear that mask right, or put your mask on, or cover your mouth, or go wash your hands, get hand sanitizer. So kind of like what you do at home with your kids, but with about 20 or 30. Because, now, of course, you're going to say, well, Tyrone, why 20 or 30? Well, some schools didn't even cut down the number of kids in the classroom. So there are some people out there that got the state required 34 kids in the classroom, and they still got to do all this stuff. Also, maintaining and developing online platforms and lessons. Guess what? Every teacher became a tech person in the building. Yeah, that is stressful. It is so stressful. Because, see, I'm old school. I'm from the school that says all that stuff you do online, you need to be able to do that same thing without all that technology. And most people are struggling with that because we're used to making things happen with the bare minimum of technology. Now, 100% of your curriculum is all technology. And you got to maintain yourself. Note, you are your own site manager. So outside of teaching and all that, you got to maintain all this. Now think about all the teachers that are hybrid. Everything I said plus maintain the online component too. That's a lot. Now, what can school boards do to take the burden off of teachers like this? Well, especially now, school districts, if you're a superintendent or a principal or a board member or something like that, try to minimize non-core duties because a teacher's essential job, and I use the keyword essential, our essential job is to educate children, okay? And of course, keep them safe as well. But everything else, try to minimize all the other stuff that's causing the stress, that's causing the frustration, okay? Some of these new COVID tasks, yeah, they will be inevitable. However, the more that gets added onto our plates, the more likely we will get up and leave from the table. Because then it starts to become not about educating kids. So, some people will say, well, teachers need to be doing that. Well, of course. However, think about all of the individuals that are in your building now that don't have anything to do while you have so much to do, teachers, like your paras and your instructional assistants and people who really don't teach core classes. Because I told someone, I said, look, man, when it comes down to it, this virtual education, it's not equal across the board. Because, see, I teach English, and I'm going to be on there hitting it hard, whereas someone else might teach something like art. And I'm not knocking that, but the burden of virtual education is not, it's not held the same heaviness on everybody. Which leads to my next point, the investment in teaching. Now, while older teachers, and you know what, I'm blessed to say I'm an older teacher, I'm old school, may consider leaving because of the higher risk of COVID, teachers with less training and expertise are more likely to leave during normal circumstances. So what I'm saying is, if you don't have a strong grasp on the virtual piece, I can see that saying, being a reason why you might want to go. Because see, I'm not used to this. All this tech is confusing. I can't figure it out. I need to go. I'd rather leave on my own terms than get fired behind this. And I've heard people say that. I've even said that. Low key, I'm toying around with it. So, it is what it is. I'm being authentic. Now, if you add a pandemic, the outlook gets even worse. It's stressful. You may have a whole different generation of teachers who recently just joined the profession, leaving for good. Think about that. You got all these new teachers, fresh ideas, young bodies, or, seasoned bodies that come in with a new amount of education coming in during this time. I was on a Zoom meeting, and I saw some new teachers. Man, they were struggling during that Zoom meeting. You could look in their face. It was like on Full Metal Jacket. At the beginning of Full Metal Jacket, when they all sitting up there in the barracks, and the gunnery sergeants walking back and forth checking them. I mean, the look on their face was like, wow, what did I get myself into? I know the profession is not easy, but good night. I should have waited. So the effect will be felt for generations. Think about that. You got someone that has the potential of being an all-star teacher that walks up in the classroom, all these great ideas. And then guess what? This thing happens and they quit. That's a good teacher gone. Is it frozen on your end? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, that's the problem. Solution. Excuse me. What can school boards do? How about give teachers opportunities to boost their skills through certifications, professional developments, or other resources that can keep instructors in place? Now I know my school, at first I was complaining, man, dang, man, we've been in this school building all day for nothing. However, it was useful because I learned how to make a website. I learned how to record a video and upload it to a website. And of course, you're like, man, now I know I'm gonna call out brother Cornell. Cornell with the block teased me because I didn't know about Zoom. He said, you don't know about Zoom? So I got very familiar with it. So, I mean, if school boards give schools the time to learn this stuff and an incentive based on getting it done, then you have more teachers wanting to do this. Allow teachers to see the end result. Now, we found, or the study says that they found that teachers were much more hesitant to leave the profession if by doing so they will sacrifice all that industry-specific knowledge. Now, with reopening during COVID, schools should be providing as many resources as possible to develop and support their teachers to meet the increasing job demands. So what they're saying is your teachers should be stronger coming out of this. Now, nerd moment. Think about Dragon Ball Z. Goku and them had Frieza was coming to Earth to blow it up. So what they do? They went into a hyperbolic time chamber where it seemed like they were gone for a year inside the chamber, but on the outside they were gone for an hour. But guess what? They came back smarter and faster and stronger. Kind of like that Avengers Endgame when Captain America went back in time and he was gone for like 3 seconds, but it's really like 90 years. Kind of like that. So we're saying that this pressure should make your teachers stronger. Now I remember I made the comment prior. One plus about all this virtual learning is it eliminates the need for snow days. Think about that. If all the teachers get real savvy about this, it can be 40 feet of snow outside. And Santa Claus is out there giving out free gifts. Guess what? No snow day. Why? Because teachers are savvy with the virtual piece. The school is like, guess what? We're not shut down. Just click on over to virtual. Now, one thing I will say about 2020 is it's the year of revelation. It's the year of we should have been doing that a long time ago. I got a comment? Okay.
Yeah, Forrest Tyson said, wouldn't this be a good time for the district to demand more teachers or aides?
Yes. It's like I mentioned, you want to utilize this time to build your roster up. Because, come on, now, let's be real. In times of war, if you want to succeed in battle, you got to build up your defenses. So, yes, hiring as many people as possible and putting them in key roles. Because one thing about education is, I know they may have cut, state budgets, but your school district budget should still be looking pretty nice. So you should still, if you're a wise leader, you'd be stacking the deck in your favor because you're going to have teachers getting sick. You're going to have folks saying, I don't want to be here. Or matter of fact, the situation we got going on right now, you got a lot of teachers that are required to be at work while their babies are still at home. So some school districts are saying, how about we take our IAs or we staff a building and say, look, our workers, you can have your kids go here. And we'll, all their online stuff will happen. I'm starting to see other organizations hire people to be little mobile schools. So if you got to go to work, drop your kid off there, then make sure your kid do all their online education there and feed them 2 meals and a snack. So yeah, stuff like this, all these wise and cool ideas that really enhance education should be coming out right now. So the key word is increasing job demands. Already, there's so much stuff popping out with with this COVID and this pandemic. I know my district, we actually hired someone that's over all of virtual learning. So, yeah, I mean, look at the problem and look at what you have to remedy the problem. Next, because that right there, the investment in teaching piece can be a whole show by itself, to be quite honest. Next one, salary, cha-ching, dollar bills. Now, one thing I will say, I can't speak for every district. However, I'm thankful and I'm extremely blessed that our school district did not cut jobs or positions. Now, there are some charter schools where the superintendents are saying, hey, you know what? I'm thinking I might have to cut some folk who aren't beneficial. But there's one school that said that, and the superintendent said, I am going to make this work for you. So he started creating positions to where they could still keep their salaries. So Swider and his colleagues showed that a reliable way to retain teachers is better pay. I think that's common sense. You pay me better, I might stay a little bit longer. Paying teachers more would likely work, but that does not seem likely, unfortunately. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing the school boards can do, give teachers hazard pay. Teachers need hazard pay. Because if you're requiring teachers to work during a pandemic and you have people in the classroom, they need something for that. If you have teachers doing extra than the norm, they need something extra for that. And a seasonal raise is not the bump that we're talking about. Teachers need to be taken care of. Teaching is the most revered profession and the most disrespected profession at the same time. There are teachers out there that are putting their whole families on the back burner just to make this thing work. Now, understand that using funding as a threat could backfire badly. We already know that. Anytime you do an ultimatum with funding, it's like a double-edged sword. Now, threatening to take away resources from schools and K through 12 teachers is the exact opposite of what I would recommend for the long-term health care of the profession. This is what the guy said. Now, whenever you threaten to take away somebody's funding or you try to play with money, eventually somebody's going to leave. Now, they're also saying that teachers might need to get a side hustle. Now, if you notice, how many teachers do you know got a side hustle? Now, really, to be quite honest, it's not because teachers aren't paid a lot. No, really, to be quite honest, there are. I think an economics expert said you need about 4 to 5 sources of income in order to be successful. So, teachers, there are a lot of teachers that are moonlighting to help make matters meet. Now, schools, if you cannot afford to pay your teachers extra, you need to allow them time to go and provide for their families or allow them to go home to their families. Now, we all know that you're not going to be online all day. So if your school day is from 8 to 12, let those teachers go home. Sometimes one of the greatest salaries that you can pay somebody is time. Give them the time to go home and take care of home, to rest, to relax, to unplug. Because if I'm staring at a computer screen for 5 hours, I don't want to see a computer screen. I remember I used to work at Mazuma Credit Union. I was on the phone all day. I had a little girlfriend back then. You don't never call me. Baby, I've been on the phone for 8 hours. I'm sorry. I don't feel like talking on the phone. So if I'm staring at that computer screen, I want to be around people. Give teachers their families. Give them time. Because if I was a principal, hey, you do your 8 to 12, just make sure you're available an hour afterwards for questions. Go home to your family. I mean, they say we all in this together. Well, let them be with the people that are most in it with them. Because last time I checked, my colleagues are cool, but I'm not banging and clanging with them at home. It's my family. So, time is the best gift. All right. Also, school board should not assume that teachers don't have other options. Okay? Just because I'm teaching in your building doesn't mean what my man say on was it A Few Good Men? No, not A Few Good Men. What was that movie with Richard Gere and Lou Gossett Jr.? An officer and a gentleman. I got no place to go. Yeah, see, some schools think, oh, well, this is the only place you got. You can't go nowhere else. I actually had a principal tell me that one time. And I said, for real? You know what I did? I left. I went to another organization that was educational. Never tell no one that, like, that's like being in a relationship. If I can't have, ain't nobody else gonna do you like me. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna go get done better. And if you tell a teacher that, they will go get done better, whether it's in the profession or outside of the profession, or while they're still working for you. So never make it seem like the teacher has to be there. Now, there is some verbiage, teachers. I'm gonna be real and tell you. I want you to really listen to what your human resources department is saying. I want you to really listen to what your principals are saying, and listen to the verbiage that they're saying, because they are saying some things that are very like a gray area. So if you would like, I would strongly recommend that if something is confusing, ask for clarity. And if it still seems kind of strange, go to your union rep. Or if you don't have a union rep, find an employment lawyer and ask a question, because there are some schools, I'm not going to bust them out, they are saying things to teachers that are that are non-policy, but the fear factor is making teachers not question what they're saying or doing. And that's wrong. I mean, telling someone that they are forced to be in that school building, they can't do that. I mean, right now during this pandemic, it's your choice. I mean, I got people in my school building, they haven't stepped, well, I'm sorry, one lady has not stepped in the school building. I say probably like once, and she was like, I can't do it. Not right now. That's her right. That's her business. I think teachers, one thing I will say in a good school setting is that teachers, they look out for each other. There was one teacher, she was out, and her sisters went up in there, and set her classroom up for her. I remember my first year teaching. I'm sorry, no. My first year in the building that I'm in right now, a young man's father passed away. He was down at home taking care of that. There was a new teacher that didn't meet him. Her and another teacher that just met him went in his classroom and set up his classroom for him. So when he came back, he didn't have much to worry about. So one thing I will say is, in a good school, teachers will look out for each other. If you got a legit issue, we got you. You know. So, I think I'm gonna go straight through. I'm not gonna take a break. Kind of hot with the topic. If that's cool. You know, I gotta check in with my man. You know that run. You know, the face that runs the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and move over. Oh yes, we got a comment. Leave no man or woman behind. You gotta have a code of conduct. Yes. Now, teachers gotta look out for each other, have each other's backs. Now, I was real stressed out. People who know me and my old co-teacher, she made a comment. She said, "Gathers, you deal with technology like an old man." And it was funny because when she was saying it, I was looking at it like this. And when it comes to all this virtual stuff, I have a lot of questions. And I know there are some employees that I work with. I know I was, kind of getting on their nerves. But I do want to definitely shout out the one, and y'all know who y'all are. I already thanked you for that. But I want to thank you live on the air that, you helped me out, got me through, because I got real stressed. And when I get real stressed, people who know me know he either reacts or he shuts down. And I was doing both. And, it was a beautiful thing. I'm going to go and read some comments that I got here from the text stream. One comment was, "Time to get real. Teachers should come up with a collective plan that will make their job flow in a manner that will balance their home care and families needing. Give teachers empowerment." Yes, teachers. I was talking to a woman next door to me, and she said, "It's okay. Get a therapist. Get someone to talk to. Teachers, get a social group. Hang out with some of y'all. Go out and do a happy hour every now and then. Talk about the issue. Work through it. Hold administrators accountable." Yes, because someone asked a question, what are administrators doing right now? Someone said that they feel that all their administrators doing is spying on their virtual classrooms and getting them in trouble whenever they make a mistake. I don't think that's really happening. But I will say this, though. If you need assistance from an administrator, they are more likely to help you now than ever, because all they can do is just push a button and they're right there with you. All right, so find some more right here. Now, this study was done back in March 14th of 2018. The reason why I pulled this one is because the same virtual challenges that teachers faced back then are amplified now. Now, there are different modes that we're going through right now with this whole COVID piece. Like I said, you got all virtual. You got no virtual. We're in the classroom with y'all. Then you got hybrid. I'm teaching you this day, it's virtual that day. Or some teachers, I'm teaching you now while you're in the room, and while you're home watching, I'm mic'd up and you're watching the classroom. I don't know about that one though. Sometimes you might say something and you might get caught up. Now they got you on tape. So, you got a significant percentage of people who are preferring to be online right now because of this pandemic, which is respectful. You want your kid to be safe. Whether you think it's a hoax or not, don't matter. It's their parents' job to make sure that their child's safe, and I respect that. So, I'm going to talk about some more obstacles that we might have. First things first. We have teachers are not able to read nonverbal cues. While in the classroom, you can tell off the bat who's having trouble or who's about to do something silly or who's vibing with you. Now, when you're on that Zoom or on that Google Meet or whatever, or StreamYard or whatever, video conferencing that you're doing, I'm going to say Skype too, or Google Meets, you got all these little squares here, and teachers, it's kind of hard to kind of track the room or track the screen like you would do in a classroom. So virtual classrooms is the closest equivalent to being in a physical classroom while we're in this pandemic. Now, there's not a perfect replacement for a classroom. You can't replace what we do in that classroom. Like I said, every good teacher does not like this whole virtual piece because we know there's no replacement for being in that classroom. When teaching in person, we're able to see that face. We're able to see the struggling learners, the person that wants to ask something, but they're not sure they want to do it, or the person that's about to make a comment, but when they see your teacher face, they're quiet. Or the individual that's like, yeah, they really vibing with you. Or the young person that can look at your verbal cue when you give them that nod of approval. See, we miss that because, see, nonverbal cues, it gauges the level of engagement. See, a teacher can see who's rocking with us and who's lost. Now, all my teachers that are watching here, you all know that. You all know that you can be in that classroom and you can gauge, do I got to veer my lesson off or can I keep it going? Now, when we get those nonverbal cues, we're able to make adjustments and we're able to pace accordingly. We're able to deliver a lecture in a manner in which it needs to be delivered. However, in a virtual classroom, sometimes we can't see the learners. There's this meme going on that says, if you were skipping class, it showed a kid jumping over a fence back in the day. And it says skipping class in 2020, it got a kid turning off their camera and muting their microphone on Zoom. Now, there are some kids that, they will have their stuff muted because let's be real. I had a student who said, Mr. Gathers, I can't turn on my camera or turn on my microphone based on what's going on in my house. They got, either the house wasn't clean or, the microphone was off because the parent was, talking on their stuff. So they was chatting. So I had to stop and ask, are you with us? Are you cool? And they would chat back. And that was kind of frustrating. But, at the same time, I understood that the kid couldn't turn on their stuff. Now, you're going to have some kids that will participate more than others. But when it comes down to it, you can't see those nonverbal cues. It's kind of hard to. Because some of these cameras, they're not the best quality on a Chromebook. Now, the instructor cannot tell whether the lack of participation by a learner is due to them being introverted or being highly focused on observing rather than participating. Now, some people are more focused while they're observing versus participating. That is their engagement piece. Now, what the best instructor can do in this situation is encourage all of their learners to participate and open up clear lines of communication. So when you're establishing your norms, you need to establish communicational learns. Establish a norm with your students that, hey, look, how can I know if you're having a question? Now, the good thing about Zoom is you can do them little emojis or whatever, put a hand clap or a thumbs up or something like that. Establish a norm for your kids or for your students to let you know, hey, I'm not getting this, or yeah, I'm rolling with you. Amen. I got you. Now, one thing I will say is you got that outlier, and that's fear. Students are still going to be afraid to speak up in front of others. So you need to create a safe place for students to be able to, reach out online. Because I know sometimes it is extremely hard to gauge the level of instruction if you can't read those cues. And that is frustration. Now, fewer tools. I came back to work. I thought it was Christmas. I said, man, I got a computer monitor. I got a camera. I got all this cool stuff. I felt like Tony Stark, but black and cooler. So I was, Right, right. Yeah, nah, I was Black, Black Panther, real smooth, real suave. But nah, but I had all these toys, and I said, man, what am I gonna do with all this? And then they had a video saying this is supposed to help you out with your virtual education. Now, some schools didn't get all that. Some schools got fewer tools, and because they got fewer tools, they got a bigger challenge because now virtual learning is multi-modulistic. And when I say that, is you got one screen that shows your kids and the other screen that shows your work. You got to have one camera here, one camera there, a microphone here, a microphone there. And the more tech, the more easier it's supposed to be. But you have some schools that don't have the budget for all the toys and bells and whistles. So, there's not a one size fits all. It's not. Because personally, I know some people that can make it work with just that one little camera on their computer screen. I know some teachers that will get frustrated with all the bells and whistles. So, when it comes down to it, in a physical classroom, a teacher can pick up a marker, go to that whiteboard, or that chalk, depending on how old your school is, go to that chalkboard. I don't know about you, side note, but whenever I say the word chalkboard, I think about the sound. So I tend not to use that because I get that little eerie chill. But that eerie chill also comes in when a teacher is overwhelmed or underwhelmed with tools to get this tech job done. Now, there are so many ways where you can mess up. Now, if I'm in a classroom and I see, hey, y'all not getting this, I can easily take my eraser, wipe the board down. I can easily go to my smart board and get a new screen. But teaching virtually, if you're not that savvy or if you don't have the ability to share your screen, that's rough. It's rough. So the reason why I say fewer tools is teachers need the tools in order to make the necessary changes that they need. Teachers need those tools. Schools, I hope you're listening, give them the schools to be successful. Think about that. If you were going to war, you want all of the state-of-the-art things. Please, 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 school districts, stop sending teachers in the battle with a slingshot when it comes to technology. Don't do that. I had a teacher used to always say that. Don't do that. No. Don't do that. One of the biggest challenges faced in e-learning is multimodality. Give them the different modes. Now, personally, if you have a lack of technology, get computer programs, but combine those classes. If myself and Mr. Walker both teach 7th grade English, and we have I don't want to say poor tech. However, if we have limited tech usage, then combine our classes. He and I can tag team. So it's more easier to do that. You take this group, I take this group. Because the good thing about Zoom is, thank you, Chris. One thing you can do is with Zoom, you can have breakout rooms. So, yeah, this is Mr. Walker and Mr. Together's 7th grade ELA class. Mr. Walker's class is going to be in this breakout room. Mr. Together's class is going to be in this breakout room. And then guess what? We're going to combine the rooms together and have a massive discussion. So, teachers, utilize those savvy counterparts. Go ahead and co-teach. Because, hey, the more and more you you'd be surprised what you can do with that. Okay. Ooh, we're rolling. Next one, distracted learners. Now, I'm going to tell you what distracts me. I like listening to music when I'm working. And my neighbors will tell you, Mr. Together will blast some music. Some jazz, some conscious music. Right now, I've been rolling with that dude Tobey, the guy that sings "Try Jesus." Well, that man got a whole bunch of stuff. I've been bumping that, but I noticed that as I'm doing my work, I'm going back finding more music. So if it's easy for me to get distracted, think about your kids. Now, teachers, especially teachers that got the one-on-one devices, how many times have you busted your kids playing video games? What makes you think those babies aren't going to be playing those games while you're teaching? The answer to that, there are some sites where if you have your kids on that site, on that Chromebook, they can't go anywhere else. So that remedies the online distractions. But then you have the at-home distractions. You got kids that have siblings or pets. One little girl had a cat. She kept playing with the cat while she was doing the assignment. I'm seeing the cat pop up. Or you hearing a dog in the background, barking or panting or whatever, sounds dogs make. It sounds real creepy when you only, when you can't see the dog. Or little siblings. Or TV. Now, one remedy to that is to make the content fun. All right, make it to where they only want to focus on what you're doing. Make your theory-based content fun. Okay, use gaming, use sites, use things that get the kids' attention. Excuse me. I was talking to one of my counterparts, and I said one thing I want to do is I want to do little mini lessons for the 6 traits of writing for instruction. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I want to do rhyming, poetic rhyming when it comes to word choice. And with that, I want kids to, they'll be able to see the screen. Well, I'm not going to reveal the activity, but it's going to utilize, Zoom and things like that. Got a comment? Okay. So, be creative. Like, for example, I mentioned virtual breakout rooms. Use that collaboration with kids to where they can sit and collaborate with each other in little virtual breakout rooms. With teachers, make sure you pop in there and check them out. Never leave a classroom unsupervised, whether it's virtually or it's inside the classroom. Also, ask kids their feedback. Have a poll. What can we do to keep you more engaged? Embed videos, embed games. Do a dance break. I'm gonna do that. Hey, dance break. Or have incentives to where kids can do certain things, with the camera. Give them ownership of the lessons. Don't have them by themselves, just listening to you the whole time, being a talking head. Like what was that dude back in the 80s? Max Headroom. But not as cool. All right, here we go. We got another comment from this thread here. Let's see. Oh, it's on my end. Without teachers, there wouldn't be any schools, students. In short, no money to pay the administrators who should be supporting teachers with all their needs. Administrators, get off your bottom and get in the classrooms to lend your helping hand for your teachers. This could help with being overwhelmed. Real talk. And that's coming from someone that was an administrator that went back and helped out their teachers. All right. Keep your lessons fun, engaging, interactive. I know Nearpod is real cool. Kahoot is real cool. What's another one? They got all kinds of stuff out there. Just Google it, but make sure your school district supports it. I don't want you doing something and you get in trouble for it. And you say, well, Tyrone said use it. No, your school district should have a list of all the approved sites. And if it's a site that you want your district to look into, then give them information on it and have them try it out. A lot of them are free. But at the same time, you got to watch because some of them kind of, report information. You got folks trying to sell your kids lakefront property in Arizona. You don't want to do that. All right, next one, gaining a learner's confidence. Key word is learner's confidence. That's what that connection does. Now, if you're a face-to-face instructor like myself, and that's your thing, and that's what you're known for, it's going to be hard doing this virtually. Now, I'm known for being that brick and mortar teacher, being in the classroom, having that connection. That's Mr. Gather's mutant power. I mean, he's good at getting relationships with kids just by being in the classroom. Well, now It's going to be rough because gaining the confidence of a learner is key. It is key in building a bond. Like I said, I don't care if you are the expert. I don't care if you wrote the curriculum that you're teaching. If that kid does not connect with you, guess what? They're not going to learn from you. There's no bond. There's no bridge. Virtual instructors need to go the extra mile to connect with teachers. I'm sorry, to connect with students. What was that? So learners need to be made to feel comfortable in establishing themselves. Now, it's going to be kind of rough, so teachers need to make their learners feel comfortable in asking questions, in interacting, in gaining knowledge. One way you can do that is make question asking accessible. You know, the chat rooms are posing comments, the questioning, having virtual office hours. So if you need help, you can hit me up between 12 and 3. Accessibility. When interacting with kids virtually, teachers always share the following: your professional phone number, not your cell phone number, but your professional phone number. And when I say professional, that means your desk phone. Or some school districts gave their teachers Google numbers. Your professional email address, not your Facebook, but your professional email address. So every communication that you do can be monitored. If you got like a Google chat, make sure it's the one that your job pays for. Give kids time so where they can reach out to you. When instructors promptly reply, that's that trust. You know, make sure you got like a 24 to 48 hour reply time. I know it's a tall order, but the more expedient feedback, the better. Now, I teach an advanced class, so I know those parents are going to want to know what's going on real quick. Mr. Gathers, what's going on? They would prefer me to answer them very quickly. Now, note, the quicker you are able to respond back with answers or ways to get answers, the faster you'll be able to build trust with your parents. Now, teachers, hopefully I covered a lot of problems that we're going to endure. I know I felt overwhelmed, and I want to give a shout out to people in my family. My mom, Paula Love, she's always there, listening. My dad, Tyrone Classic. Normally, he and I, we talk, and I was just real with him. I said, man, look, I need to talk to you, and I just talked to him about, the situation that was going on at work, and he gave some real good advice. My great uncle said, "You listen to your daddy." Yes, I did. I did today, and he started laughing about that. And also, my aunt, Tony Ford, she was very helpful. She saw a post that I made on Facebook, and my aunt, she's not that much older than I am. One thing I will say is the reason why she's seen as the favorite aunt is because she knows her nieces and nephews each individually. So when she saw that post, she was like, okay, this don't sound like my nephew. Let me reach out. And then when she reached out, she called, her and I talked, and she let me know she had my back. So, have yourself a corner that you can go to both in your building and outside your building. And I want to give a real huge shout out to the people I roll with in my building. My coaches. We get real close together. There's a website. I'm sorry. There's a Facebook group that I'm posting this to right now. You know who you are. You've been a ray of sunshine since I've been back. So I don't want to bust y'all out by name because I don't want any of my other counterparts to feel slighted. But in that building, I am thankful to say that there's a nice handful of you all that are very helpful. So to teachers who haven't established that yet, find you a support system within your building to help you professionally and outside of your building to help you adjust from what you just got through going through that, during that day. And also, it's like I said earlier, If you want to get you a therapist to listen, to talk to, I know of some that can help you out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring some in on the show to get you all out. But when it all comes down to it, teachers, we are needed. Administrators, board members, superintendents, teachers are extremely needed. We are very important. We are very vital. I'm gonna be real with you. You can't make this thing happen without us. So I strongly suggest you do all you can to work with your teachers so we can better work with our students and our families. Because I know it sounds like a cliche, we're all in this together, but guess what? We truly are all in this together. And right now, a lot of teachers feel as if they're pulling more weight than what they should. What can you do to take some of that burden off that teacher and let them know, hey, you're valued and I still need you here? I'm Tyrone Gathers Jr. This is the source of the Inkwell. In the Inkwell, education overflows. And like ink, it stains. Let it be permanent. Let the help and the assistance be permanent. We'll see you on the other side. God bless.
This is a national recording artist called Roland, and I am a proud supporter of KUAW's Summer Fun Drive, and I've got something special in store for you. So come on and join me. Head to KUAW.org and donate now. There is no minimum, but your support of $5, $25, or even $100, it doesn't matter. Whatever you choose will support the community station that gives back to you through knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And just for being a value listener and supporter, I'd like to give to you my complimentary 10-song smooth CD music pack featuring my new hit single, A Natural High. So don't hesitate. Donate now. And hey, it's even tax deductible. And did I mention I'll be giving to you my 10-song smooth CD music pack? You can't beat that hookup. So I'm going to go ahead now and thank you for your donation.
Be sure and include your email address and we will send you information to receive your 10-song CD pack. Thank you for supporting KUAW Radio.